Good morning. Welcome back to another video. For what it's worth, I believe episode 8. I'm not totally sure. If you can hear the rain.
Oh boy.
It got so dark right as we sat down and it's been really windy, but it just really started coming down. So I apologize if you can hear that, but this is the time we got to record. Today's episode is going to be a little different. I posted a Q&A box on my Instagram, so we're going to go through those, but I did want to start off with just quick little, like, what we've been up to. I went to Minnesota to visit John and Alyssa and their triplets. Chris held down the fort here for 4 full days, solo parenting the gals. Crushed it, obviously. And had some help from Grandma and Papa and Gigi and Joshua.
It was great.
Shout out to Joshua.
It was fairly normal.
Yeah.
It was what it was. How about that?
Anyway, I had a bunch of fun. I shared a good amount on Instagram, but their boys are so stinking cute. It was hilarious, the amount of people who messaged me and they're like, wait a minute, she had triplets? And I'm like, where have you been?
Oh.
Yes.
Well, you haven't seen her.
No, I know. It was just so funny. I'm like, to me, I feel like I talked about it all the time.
I wonder how many followers, like how many people who follow both of you share. I feel like it's probably a good amount.
Yeah, but at the same time, I still think there's a obviously much larger portion that are different.
Yeah, probably.
But it was so funny. There was like 3 people in a row when the first day I was there and I posted the picture. She was like, wait a minute, there's 3 babies. I'm like, yeah, I know.
It's no joke.
I know.
It happened.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a lot of fun. And then, yeah, back to business as usual. We literally just like picked up right where we left off. Had a good work week. And before we get into the Q&A, we can't talk about this because Chris hasn't, and I'm sure you guys are still reading. If you're in the book club, for what it's worth, BC on Fable. This is the book of the month. I just finished it, and now Chris is going to get started.
What are you going to rate it? Out of 5. You can do halves and stuff.
So I was thinking about this. I think I would give it, I'm between a 3.5 and a 4. I enjoyed it, but I did realize towards the end of the book that I think I need more, like, not suspense, but just like more high risk scenarios or something.
You need more.
I need something to pull me in a little bit more. I know.
Stakes.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that after we talked yesterday, and especially because I had 2 different scenarios played out in my head of how it would end. And I told him yesterday, I was like, I think one of them is right. It's just, it's a little bit more predictable, but it is definitely like that feel-good book that it is intended to be. But yeah, I did realize that about myself at the end. I was like, I do think I need a little bit more.
It's typically how I am, so I'm interested to see. I also am just now reading this poll quote at the top. I loved it. It's like being wrapped up in a big gay blanket. Simply perfect.
That's what it says?
Yes, verbatim. Just now, that's funny. Okay.
I read a couple chapters in here. That was the one thing I was going to say quickly, and then we'll get into the Q&A. Long chapters. I listened to it on Spotify because I had enough listening hours, and that was definitely the key. I had a couple people message me when I shared it on Instagram. They were like, oh, it was a good book, but it was kind of hard to get through because the chapters, and I'm like, I'm with you. If I was strictly reading it, just because I don't have that much time to sit and read, I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much. I think it would have felt a little bit like a chore, like, oh, I gotta read. Oh. It's harder for me if I'm physically reading a book, to stop in the middle of a chapter than it is if I'm listening to it. I don't even think twice about stopping.
No, I agree.
So I think that would have been a struggle had I only been reading.
Yeah. No, we talked about this recently. Big versus short chapters versus long chapters.
Yeah.
And I used to love short chapters.
One of them was like 36 pages.
But I also feel like I just kept... With short chapters, I feel like you're not making very much progress between chapters.
Yeah.
But the positive is, like, you do feel accomplished. Like, boom, chapter, boom, chapter.
Yeah. If you need to stop, it's like, okay, I can read another page or two.
There's a book that I don't know this book, but The Road, no chapters. You didn't love that book.
No.
It was great. It was a really good book. It's heavy, and
It was a really great book. It was so heavy.
It was heavy. But there's another book that is like famous in the fantasy community. It's like the 10th or 12th book in a big long series that has a 200-page chapter.
No.
It's like a big battle scene or something. I think 200 pages.
I just touched it. That's like a whole book.
It's like
Could be its own
there's
little
more
mini.
words in that chapter than the first Harry Potter book.
Yeah, that's crazy.
From what I've heard. Yeah. Anyway,
get
so
ready.
I haven't read it yet. I'm going to start probably today or tomorrow. Yeah, we'll see. Like I've heard this is a cozy, feel-good read. Normally, I like more stakes. I need the world to be ending.
I don't need that.
I need there to be my character that I love to be on the verge of dying all the time. I just need to feel something.
Oh,
If you want that, read Red Rising.
Yeah, or I mean the one we just read. I was great at that.
Oh, Beartown?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Beartown. Kelly finished all of the Beartown.
Okay.
Did we mention that already?
Yeah. Finished all of them. Loved them.
You gotta finish it, everybody. Because I put a poll. Did you put a poll up?
If they were going to keep reading?
Yeah, like more than half of them said no.
It kept flip-flopping.
Oh, okay. Well,
But I
it's
mean,
like
also,
50-50.
there's a lot of people voting on that aren't even in the book club, so it was like
True.
skewed for sure.
True.
Okay. Q&A time. Here we go. I haven't read any of these yet. And there's
Excuse me. We're going in blind on this Q&A. Normally we take a peek and...
the very first one is I'm getting married in a year. Any advice? Go watch our last video. It was basically all about...
It was about the wedding.
Oh, that's true. It
mainly.
was about wedding. Oh, okay. That's true. Okay, so advice for marriage. Should we just pick out like one?
Oh, gosh.
We'll come back to this one.
No, just do it. That's just a... Like, it's...
I have something I'm going to say.
That's fine.
And it's
You
pretty
do it,
vague.
and I'll try to...
But I think it makes a big difference. And the longer we've been together, I do think our relationship, because we spent so much time dating earlier, like, yeah, we dated for so long before we got married. I feel like we had to start implementing or like paying closer attention that we were still going out of the way to keep things not roommate stage. Mm-hmm. And especially because we had kids early on into our marriage too. So anyway, my piece of advice is to don't overlook the little things, because I think the little things make a huge difference in the day and how you...
Give me an example.
Like...
What do you mean by don't overlook the little things?
I know, I was pretty vague. So from both sides. For instance, I like when the bed is made in the morning.
Okay.
On your end, that looks like you knowing that and you doing that. And on my end, that is like if I see that you go all the way to do that, to say thank you.
Okay.
And like just acknowledging the little things that you do for each other throughout the day, because I think as you get further into marriage, you just settle into your ways. And I don't think it's intentional, but I just think you forget to... You don't think it's necessary.
I know what you mean. Yeah, that's good.
To acknowledge the little things and like what you appreciate about your partner. Whereas in the beginning, it's all new, it's all fun. You're
saying
constant...
verbalize things.
Yeah. Communication. But like, take it a step further.
Show appreciation.
Yeah.
Like, make sure it's...
Yeah.
Acknowledged.
Especially when you start having kids. That is like definitely a big one.
I don't... This isn't my piece of advice. It's something I heard the other day and thought was interesting. Mm-hmm. I meant to send it to you, but I think I forgot. So the message was essentially, it was a mom saying this.
Sorry.
It's like, I can't remember who.
Doesn't matter.
That. The advice was, if you're a mom or a dad mainly, but mainly this is the advice to moms, and you see your partner, the father, the other parent of your children, doing something like washing a baby or washing something different than the way that you do it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? What I mean? They're doing something. It's not wrong. It's just different. Mm-hmm. Don't correct that.
Yeah.
because once you correct that, you're gonna do that with a number of things. Then your partner is just gonna be looking towards you to do that thing, or to
so like their
need
self-confidence.
help. Yeah, the self-confidence, but more it's a slippery slope to now you are the one who is managing everything and doing everything.
Yeah.
And you've built that mental load on yourself.
And you're less like the other person's probably less likely to take initiative.
Mm-hmm. It's less. I mean, and I feel like what do we talk about? The weaponized incompetence. Mm-hmm. There might be times where it stems from that. Mm. You're getting corrected on doing something that you think is right.
Are you saying this because I made you feel this way?
No, I'm saying this because I saw this video. I can show you the video.
No, I thought
maybe
when
I'm
you
not
first
saying
started
it
talking,
right.
I thought you were gonna. I thought you were going a different route with it.
No, it's.
I don't think I saw this one.
I need to show you this video. I just saw it a couple days ago.
I saw one where a dad was saying, like, the biggest thing that has helped his marriage, and once again, this is a marriage that includes kids, or they have kids, was when his wife was doing something, some kind of chore around the house, or if she was, like, anytime that he noticed she was working on something, mm-hmm. he got up and did something too. Or asked if he didn't know what needed to be done, he would ask, but he was like, the moment I started, if she was doing something, I got up and started doing something, like taking initiative in that way, he immediately noticed the difference in his relationship. It's good. Good advice.
I don't like this video. Yeah, I must not have.
That's why I think the main message that you were saying is just to, like, unless something absolutely needs to get corrected, acknowledge the fact that you're still individual people with different ways to do things that can both be right.
Yeah, and it's yes. I mean, that wasn't my advice. I just remembered that I saw this video and wanted to see what you thought.
Yeah.
Because I do see this slippery slope. Because mm-hmm. the way that guy put it in the video was much better than I said it. That it just that's where, you're now controlling the household at the end of it, and the man or the other person doesn't feel empowered to do anything.
Yeah.
So, anyways, which I see, but I just wanted to see what you thought. I guess my advice would be, oh gosh, I'm trying to think of, like, what'd she say? I'm getting married in a year. Mm-hmm. What's your advice?
I told you we could come back to that. Favorite date night activity and family activity, in parentheses, warmer weather.
It all centers around food.
Yeah, always.
Going out to dinner.
Yeah. I guess, our favorite date night.
I mean, it's dinner.
Yeah.
We used to do more, like, we've done comedy shows, concerts.
Yeah, definitely for more, like, birthday or, like, anniversary.
I think
We've definitely moved into experiences over gifts.
Yeah, it's dinner.
Yeah.
Simple as that. I mean, it's,
mm-hmm.
When you're getting towards your 30s, it's fun to go out and do stuff. And normally, when you get to the spot, when you get to what you're doing, if you want to go do something fun, like a concert or a sporting event, once you get, like, for me, this is me. Like, I kind of dread it sometimes, going like, oh, this is so much effort. Yeah. Once I get there, it's like, all right, this is great. This is fun. But, like, dinner to me is great.
So nice.
We get to spend, an hour or two, just the two of us together, and then we still get to go home by 8 or 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And
watch a movie, watch a show.
Yeah, exactly. Eat some snacks and then be in bed by a good time. Like, that's my perfect sounds one like too. A nice night. I think mixing it up is fun. Like, I like going to like a Clippers game or a Blue Jackets game. Like, for instance, we're in Columbus. Mm-hmm. That would be fun. Like, Clippers specifically, I think, would be fun. Because that's, like, baseball is such, like, a low stakes. Just, you don't have to be paying attention to the game. I mean, unless you want to get hit in the face by a fly ball. If you're in that area, you can just walk around for, like, half an hour and not really miss much. Like, there are baseball players who have talked about that. But either way, it's dinner and a movie at home.
Yeah, go out, enjoy dinner, get a little dressed up, nothing fancy. Enjoy your time out.
Fancy's fun, though.
And yeah, fancy can be fun. And then come home, get in comfy clothes, relax on the couch, snacks, documentary, comedy, something, watch something on TV while snacking. That is our ideal.
And then with the kids, it's
taco night.
It's the same, except it's earlier in the day.
Yep.
And then it's ice cream or something after, and just watching the kids run around and play.
Yeah, basically staying out until we come home for bath time and bedtime.
Yeah.
Like, we just make it a whole afternoon outing. And I love that. They love that.
Oh, yeah.
It works, especially now that it's going to be warmer.
Or running over to grandparents' house and watching them play with them.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't get too crazy. Like, I know a lot of people for their date nights, like, they'll always try to do like axe throwing or bowling or like all those things.
Yeah.
I feel like we are just not as much into that. That's like a good couples thing.
That's like a couples thing. That's what I was going to say. For us.
Yeah.
If you do that by yourself, more props to you.
Yeah. But, like double date.
Yeah, double dates, group trips, you know.
Because I think you need that to like extend your time out a little bit, you know, like keep talking with them. Ooh, what career would each of you choose if you lived a different life?
That's tough because I feel like it's not easy to just choose.
Yeah.
Like, there are some careers you have to earn it, you know? So, like, what would I like to do? I mean, if professional athlete is off the table, then I have to think about it. Do you have one?
Well, people ask me this more frequently in Q&As, like, oh, what would you be doing if you weren't an influencer or whatever? And I always struggle because I always said growing up, both my parents owned their own businesses, and I saw them be the entrepreneur, and I saw how much stress they had, and I was like, I will never do that. But I mean, obviously, here we are now. I think I could be great at whatever job I was at because I'm someone who works hard. Like, I'm very disciplined with work and stuff. But I don't think because before I started my YouTube channel, I was at Ohio State for finance, and then I switched to marketing. But regardless, finance. And I don't see even if I would have continued with that, I wouldn't have stayed in that role. No. I think I inevitably would have found myself running my own business, honestly.
But in what respect?
I don't know.
In fitness? In athleisure clothing?
Maybe. Honestly, maybe. Or I could have seen myself staying at LULULEMON. I liked that job a lot, and there's a lot of growth opportunity there.
That's a good one.
And that is a job, I mean, it is still corporate, but they do so much other stuff within the community. I could have seen myself staying there.
Nothing's wrong with corporate, by the way.
No, nothing's wrong with corporate. I'm just saying.
It's different.
Yeah, I definitely have, I just think a natural, like, gravitation. I think it's because how I grew up and seeing my mom and dad, even though I thought that wasn't what I wanted. But anyway, so yeah, maybe would have stayed at Lululemon and tried to go up in the company, or I don't know.
Do you think...
I definitely don't think I would have stayed.
Here's the thing. Do you think you could work under someone the rest of your life, or for the majority of your life? Or do you think you would...
Oh, it would depend on the person, obviously.
Well, yeah.
That would play a huge role.
But yeah,
if it was someone who I respected, no problem.
Okay.
If it was someone that I did not respect,
no. Okay. I mean, take that aside.
Yeah, no,
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying you could or couldn't. I'm just saying, I was just curious. Because that's not been your... Obviously...
So I feel like it is harder to answer this question for me because I was really never in that world as an adult out of school. At least not for very long. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not like, it's kind of taking a shot in the dark. Like asking a little kid, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Well, yeah.
You're like,
Okay. Well, what I would want to do. Number one, what I would want to do like now that I think about it, I would love to be an author, but but I know I'm not good at it. Like I can't. Like I feel like it's not realistic. I don't think I could write a full-fledged 400-page book. I just don't think I could do it.
I think you could, but
It'd
I
take
think
me a long time.
your procrastination would.
But like my dream, like I'd love to, like that sounds great. Like that life of writing and doing that sounds great to me, but I just don't think I'd be good. So like realistically, what would I do? That's a tough question. I was in sales after college. And while I was successful, I was always at the top of my team in terms of sales. I didn't love it, and I wasn't good at it. Let me explain. I wasn't good at the sales aspect of it. I was just really good at knowing like the specific organization I worked for and explaining that and explaining the value. Like I guess you'd say, oh, that's good. But when it came to like the sales, these things.
Like more of the pushy.
Like the asking for the sale and, you know, trying to get someone who doesn't necessarily need something or want something to buy what you have. I was not good at that. Like I couldn't do that. But like I could, if you asked for something that you needed that I offered and that 10 other people offered, like I was pretty good at getting you that because of my ability to explain what we offered and just make you feel super confident in that you know what you're going to get when you deal with me. But like in terms of like I wouldn't go back to it.
Yeah.
Like I would not want to go back to sales.
So you're really good and enjoyed selling what people needed, but not like upselling them or trying to like convert.
Good.
That's not what I know.
I didn't feel like ethically or morally good if I had to go out and sell something that somebody doesn't need.
See, this is a totally, I realize, different, but it's still sales. When I worked at Palm Beach, I did really good there. But same thing, I would never, ever pitch the highest product to a teen, like to someone who was clearly already struggling. Like this was already like a little bit more than what they should be spending. Like these are the options. Like one of these is better than nothing. But I would always pull the lowest stuff. Is like reading the customer. Yeah. But same thing. Like I would feel guilty trying to get them to spend more than I know they should.
Totally. That's the
so
same.
I'm with you on that.
But so I wouldn't want to do sales again. Something with operations. I think I'm good at problem solving.
You are great at problem
solving.
So
whatever allows me to, like something with operations. You know, the behind the scenes gear turning, operating that. Whatever that looks like, whatever industry, doesn't really matter. That.
Yeah.
I couldn't be a New York Times bestselling author.
What to prioritize in the relationship post-baby so with your first baby. What to prioritize in your relationship after having your first baby?
Okay, so we're talking about relationship specific. So we're going to take the equation out of this, with the kids' equation out of this. Both people are already contributing what they need to contribute.
Yes, yeah.
Like that is done. What to prioritize in the relationship. I mean, I think it depends. It's cliche, but it depends on the person. Like,
yeah,
you know, the love language thing is real.
That's what I was about. And it changes, especially with kids.
Yeah, it can change over time. Like, I'm always a words of affirmation guy, and like gifts. And what was the other one was it physical touch? Or?
Yeah, but I feel like that's gone down your list.
Gone down too because I
touched out.
Kids touch so much. Yeah. That's what I said. That's what I said when she got home from the 4 days. I was like, I just need nobody to touch me for like 24 hours, please. But yeah, so like, yeah, and those change constantly.
Yeah.
I mean, daily could be.
Making sure
so I think like that, number one, you got to figure out what, you know, your significant other is needing at that point, and just be cognizant of that. because like one is acts of service. Like that can be a huge one. And while it might not look like it, like the number of TikToks or videos I've seen of women, you know, like just essentially like putting on a skit, essentially saying that their man or husband is not sexy at all to them until they load the dishwasher is crazy. So like, just figure out what I think just figure out what their love language is or their need for the day or the week or month, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Do that, and then
yeah,
go from there.
I will piggyback off that same thing. I saw a video, which I mean, this is not like news to me, but saw a video of just advice for parents to, at the beginning of each day, just like it's something they have gotten the routine of asking, like, how can I help you or like make your day easier? What do you need from me today? Yeah, just like starting off your day with that so you're already on the same page. And also if you're like, I did not sleep good at all last night, I'm not in a great mood, I'm just going to put it out there, it's not you. It's just like, you know, might be a little bit on edge today. But then that also, the dad was saying this, or a dad was saying this, and he was like, that immediately shifts the tone of the day to, instead of maybe she would make like a snappy comment and I would take it personally. I then go out of my way to try to make things easier for her that day so it makes her happier, I'm in a better mood. Like it immediately changes the tone for the day.
Yeah.
With her just letting him know ahead of time, like, hey, I'm in kind of a rough mood today. So like checking in with each other. But yes, absolutely. Love languages, I think you have to stay on top of those. And it does sound kind of cliche, but it makes a huge difference. And like words of affirmation was never, ever, ever. It was probably like gifts and words of affirmations were honestly like probably the lowest for me. Words of affirmation has come up way higher recently. And sometimes that looks different though on, but like
it's more just acknowledgement.
Yeah, it's acknowledgement. I don't need you to tell me that like I look pretty or something, or I don't need that. But yeah, you did a great job taking care of the girls today or putting together this, like that definitely, just acknowledging the efforts has gone up. Yeah, no, I think that's great advice. Oh, every time I lock this, it goes out of it. Are you thinking of buying a new house anytime soon?
No. I mean, I say no, and then Kelly is looking on Realtor.com every night, apparently, for land.
Zillow, first of all.
Okay, sorry. But no, I mean, so we have an interesting scenario. We bought this house in 2020 when interest rates were really low, and we got this house for a really good price because the owner was selling it by herself, and she was kind of...
She needed to be out. But she was also stubborn.
And she was stubborn. Yeah, it was an
unique
interesting
situation.
Sales process. But we got a great deal with a great interest rate, which you can't beat. Like my younger brother, him and his girlfriend a year and a half ago bought a condo that was half the size of this, and they were paying more on their mortgage. Like it's so like we are in a good spot.
Yeah.
We enjoy the location of where we are. This house is great. It has everything we need. There are a few things that we want, but those are like...
She always starts streaming.
Extras. So like, I'd say
they're
no.
wants, not needs.
I'd say no. When we first bought this house, we're like, 7 to 10 years is probably like what we're looking. Then we want to move.
We would want to
away a little bit. That would give us a little bit more space.
More land. Ideally, if we want to stay in the same like city, town that we're in, that would most likely look like knocking an old house down and building, which that would like, and I feel like we've said that since we moved in here, we will have one more home after this and we'll likely build it. Now, timeline on that is very much we're not stuck on a timeline.
No, because we're good where we are.
Yeah, if we could pick this house up and put it on a bigger piece of land, I would also be totally fine with this. Once again, there are some things that, knowing that we can't do that, if we end up building, we will change. Things will look a little different. We do things differently, but we like this house enough to where if we could pick it up and just put it on a bigger plot of land that was already available, cool.
Yeah. But like we're talking now about our little back outside area, our patio,
which was a problem since we moved in.
It's always been a problem.
Aware
it's even with kids, it's a bigger problem because it's, I don't even know if it's up to code.
Yeah, no, it's not up to code. It's just not functional.
It's just not very functional. I mean, we can go sit out there, but like, it's just a hassle to do anything. Like grill out there because you have to go down like 5-6 big steps.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about building a deck potentially.
But there's also like a no build line, so we have to. There's just things we have to.
Also,
work out.
like another problem. It's not a problem. It's a first world problem. We live on the corner, and I wouldn't want to do that again.
We'd never do that again.
No. First of all, it's busy. We live on a busy. Like there's always people walking by, which isn't a problem until Lulu is barking at dogs during the girls' nap time, waking them up, which happens.
Yeah.
Weekly. So.
Yeah, there's just things.
Small things.
Yeah.
But
it's also stuff that like this is our first house, and it's like stuff that you don't know until you have had a house and experience it. Then you're like, oh, I see why people do this differently. Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so we will have one more house eventually on more land, whether it's definitely not going to be soon. I would say if the earliest it would be like 5 years.
I would say earliest is probably like more closer to 8 years. But
really? It will depend on if there's a really good spot of land that were to open up. Because listen, I've talked with my dad about this. I am not opposed to getting a bigger piece of land.
Commune?
Heck yeah. A little compound situation. Get everybody in one spot. Your brother's in.
Who?
Matthew.
Yeah. Your mom's in.
My mom's in. If we could get a big enough piece of land to where my dad and Heather would be there, we would be there, my mom would love that. Never in...
It's got to be big though.
Well, we'll talk about it later. My dad sent me he's taking care of a place right now that's for sale, but it has like a $6 million home on it. But he's like sending me pictures. He's taking care of it. It's like 30 acres.
So like, what is that? Why? What does that
He's
mean
like, oh, this will be great. There's like a pole barn in the back. He's like, I could just stay out here. I'm like, Dad, I don't want a big house like that. There's a huge issue here that there's this massive house on it. Anyway, how do you guys handle intimacy when tired and burned out in the newborn phase? Every single person. And I don't know if you've talked to, I feel like not that many of your friends have kids yet.
A few.
So I don't know how many have you talked about this. Newborn phase, all of my friends have there is, especially if you're breastfeeding, ain't nothing happening.
It was non-existent for a while after the first one.
Ain't nothing happening.
And that's okay.
It is. It's just a season of life that, you don't want to get too comfortable in it, but I do think you just have to extend a lot of grace both ways because mom's going through a whole heck of a lot with hormones. And once again, especially if you're breastfeeding, you likely have a baby on you. Like you have someone touching you all the time. And like I struggled really bad with postpartum depression. So like that was the last thing on my mind. But so many people I have talked to have said they really did not get any sex drive back until they stopped breastfeeding. And I was pretty much on the same timeline as that, which like biologically it makes sense. Like it's kind of made to be that way. Yeah. Have you talked to any of your friends about that? Or I guess what would your...
But
how do you handle that?
I would say, here's the thing,
It's probably more on you than me.
However, it can be frustrating.
Yeah.
If you are a guy and your wife has no sex drive, it's not their fault. You know, they've had a pretty traumatic experience to their body. So it can be frustrating.
Yeah.
I think it's important to have the conversation if it has reached the point where it's hard to say an issue, but like, yeah, if you're a guy sexually frustrated after having a kid, obviously, like you said, have some grace and understand what your wife just went through. But also, you need to have a conversation because you don't want that to fester and then to be a point of...
You'll end up driving yourself away.
Yeah, you don't want to feel, what's the word I'm looking for? Like resentment towards them for not...
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think it is pretty across the board that most women, if you're planning on having intimacy at the end of the day, it is an all-day thing. Things have to go right throughout the whole day. It can't just be like whatever her love, like if it's physical touch or whatever, like having none of that, and then the end of the day you just want to like pounce on her. I don't think that's going to work. So many women I've talked to, it's like, or go above and beyond, get them flowers, get like whatever, I don't know what it is. Take some of the chores off her plate. Like just do little things throughout the day. In the morning, give her a hug and a kiss. If you normally are getting out the door and it's like hi, bye situation, I think if you do those little things throughout the day, I do think it at least gives you a way better chance.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, I just want to make sure, because you can't, I agree there, 100%. You can't, the only act of intimacy all day can't just be the sex at the end of the day.
No.
You've got to show little amounts of intimacy throughout the day.
Yeah, well, and just affection, whatever that looks like.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I think you should be doing that regardless.
Yeah.
When you get to that point where you're just not clicking back and forth, what do you do then? Do you just kind of blast it out and say, okay, we're just both struggling right now, and we just can't quite seem to get on the same page in terms of that aspect?
This is where I think, and this is obviously we're not professionals in this is just like my personal opinion. That's when I would say like you kind of probably just together need to take a further step to coordinate date nights, like where it's less in the house stuff and getting out of the environment that might just be causing stress or too high, whatever, getting totally out of your environment. Like if you've gotten to that point where you have no idea what to do, I know that has helped us when we've gotten to points where I'm like, hey, I just feel like we are not on the same page here. Getting out of the house for a couple hours or whatever, like making a plan to do that. And it might not happen the first time, but if you stay consistent with it, I think it makes a big difference.
That's a good one. I'm just trying to open it up.
It was lengthy.
I'm just trying to
oh my gosh. Would you ever get matching tattoos?
She was never going to get a tattoo, so no. I would.
I saved a tattoo that is beautiful, but we wouldn't get it until we were after having kids. It is like a line until we were done having kids, because it's like the silhouette of like one kid's face and the other one's hand. Like it's one of those like little like line tattoos.
Oh.
But it's so pretty.
Where would you get it?
I don't know. I'm not saying I would. I say because I was like, if I were to ever get a tattoo, it would be that, because it's beautiful. Anyway, I don't think I will.
If I had the money and Kelly was down, I'd go get tattoos. I'd go get my face done. I'd get a nice arm sleeve. I already have what I'd get. But no, I have one tattoo, which is for my brother who passed away in 2021. And my whole family has this, except for my dad. Dad, he's up against tattoos. But even my mom got one.
What is your love language? We've talked about this enough. We should have stated this already.
I love a good compliment.
Words of affirmation. That's always been consistent.
Like, it's been the consistent number one. For me, like, it's not always number one, but it's always
up there.
Up there.
Never hurts to throw one in.
To me, like, I've never been like, not necessarily never, but like quality time. See, my quality time and your quality time, they look different.
They look very different. Which
I've found a lot of people talk about this. It's a very common thing. There are people who find their quality time is just being in the same room alone. Like you could be doing two completely different things, just being in the same room, being close. That is quality time to them.
I would argue that's you.
That's more me. Some people you have to be
interacting
in some way.
Or at least
Which
like more
is
individual attention.
And I think both things are valid. But we've just never matched with that. Even though it doesn't matter. Like I enjoy that kind of quality time as well. But so that's just never really been huge for me. Because we do, if it were up to me, we do spend a lot of quality time together. If that's what it was for me, because we're always together. It seems like, but that's not true. Because with kids now, with 2 kids now, we're not always together. We're actually apart quite a bit. But wait, where's yours?
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay.
I actually haven't thought about this. It is acts of service.
Acts of service has got to be.
I don't know if that's my number 1, because we've had lots of conversations over the last like 5-6 months of trying to get back on the same page, because once again, it's just a high stress. We work together all day. We parent together all day. It's high stress. And quality time through those conversations, which has always been up there for me too, I think is still my number 1, because the acts of service mean more when I feel like we're already on a little bit more of the same page. You know what I mean? It's just, I feel like when we have enough quality time together where I feel like we are actually like connecting, everything else feels more special to me.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes any sense to you.
I think
quality time is up there for me, but the thing, like you said, we're different on, and I don't blame you for it. It's just that we're different on it. I struggle to, I feel like, get the quality time that I want. The really like one-on-one time, I truly only get that. It's like scratches that itch when we're on a date night or out, us two. Because otherwise there's distractions with the phone or watching TV. And like when we're watching a show and both of our attention is just on that, and like comedy. That's why, honestly, I like documentaries and stand-up a lot, because I feel like we're talking throughout. It's like we're on this journey together, which is fun. But like the TV show we're watching right now, he's not super into it, so I'll look over and you're on your phone. And I'm not mad at you for it, but I'm like, okay, this isn't quality time to me anymore. Like I feel like we're just 2 individuals doing different things while sitting on the couch. And that to me doesn't feel like quality time.
No, yeah, that's what
I really only get that when I feel like we're out on a date night.
See, so.
Wait. Quality time, definitely acts of service is up there for me. And like I said, words of affirmation has made its way up there. But that is also just like acknowledging the acts of service that I feel I provide for you and for the girls. So those like kind of go hand in hand for me.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Okay. So
I just don't want to forget.
So if we are both, I'm just,
We're trying to get on the same page here?
Thought experiment here.
Okay.
Because like what sounds like a dream night for me would be, which we used to do this. When you were reading ACORN, we'd sit down on our downstairs in the couch, no TV on, no nothing, just sitting on the couch together, or kind of together, reading. That's not quality time to you.
Not even a little bit.
Now, here's the thing. Now, what if we were
like tandem reading together?
Yeah. Like, because what one thing I thought would be fun to do with the book club is eventually, when we get to a book where we can read it at the same time, or we start at the same time. Like I remember what I was saying. We listen to it together and like do a puzzle while we're listening.
I would love that. Absolutely.
Would that be quality time?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. But the thing that is mainly bringing that together is that same thing. We're like working on the same thing together, and like we could still interact. Yeah, it's like that. That is one-on-one.
Got it.
Reading 2 separate books. Back to what I was saying before. We're just 2 individuals doing our own thing that just happen to be in the same place. Not quality time to me.
Okay.
If we're doing something together, yeah. I love puzzles. I love puzzles.
What was I gonna say? I had something else.
I think we got that.
No, I had another question I was gonna say.
Oh gosh.
Okay, never mind.
Opinions on dating apps. I feel like we can't really have opinions because we never.
Yeah, we never.
That wasn't our space.
Wasn't our thing, no.
So yeah, I feel like we can't really. We've talked about this so much. It's like, what would we do if we had to be dating right now?
I do
oh my
have
gosh.
some opinions on dating apps.
Okay,
I know and take it with a grain of salt because I've never used them.
Yeah.
Like I've seen how they work. Like I know how it works. Obviously, like we have friends and siblings who are on them. So here's my thing: we know a bunch of people now who have met their spouse on a dating app.
Yeah,
which
great
is fantastic.
relationships.
However, I do think with the generation behind us specifically, it is severely hurting their ability to create relationships like organically without the help of, randomly meeting someone online. You know what I'm saying? Like,
or
I know
like being too picky.
For guys, no. For guys specifically, I hear this a lot. And again, I don't have any personal experience to show that this is right or any data. But like it seems like the guys who are coming up behind me, that are in their teens and 20s right now, are not equipped with the skills and the interpersonal relationship to like go out and just talk with somebody or meet them. And I'm not talking about the bar. Like, approach somebody and meet them, at the gym, wherever. Because, like, I just feel like people aren't meeting each other out in public
so what
anymore.
is your opinion on dating apps? Is just that you think it's still better to meet people out in public?
Not better. It's just
I'm just trying to figure out where you're going with this.
I feel like at times, like the dating apps, if you only rely on the dating apps to look for somebody, that can hurt.
You're doing yourself a disservice. You're missing out on other opportunities.
I think a dating app, it's like a supplemental thing. It should be.
Yeah, not like
you're still going out. If you're like single and you're still going out and experiencing the stuff. Yes. And then, it's fine.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, not rely on them 100%.
Yeah.
To supplement. That was a great point. Yeah, I agree with that.
And also, I feel like...
Which I feel like a lot of people do rely on it 100% now.
I feel like, maybe this is a hot take, hookup culture is not great for society as in general.
No.
Where you're men and women both, like men and women both, the body count talk.
Yeah.
I think it's irrelevant to me if you're a boy or a girl, if you a high body count. I think it's not. We're getting into the weeds here, but like I just think it perpetuates the hookup culture, which I don't think is good for society in general. I think it's bad for if you go through this phase and then I just think your relationships after that will not be as strong as they could have been before. Like maybe I'm wrong. I just feel like it's just not great for society if every person is hooking up with a different person every other weekend and throughout their 20s.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
And I know that's not good. Also, there's a lot of stats where, and I don't know if this is dating advice, but like so many more men are not going on dates now. For whatever reason. There's like a huge portion of men that are not going on dates.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. Where did you see this?
There's a loneliness epidemic within the young male community. I don't know what is causing that. There's a lot of spection about what's causing that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's dating apps, but I just thought
I just think our devices in general are hindering people a lot from just going out in the world and doing things. They're bored and then they end up scrolling. I mean, think of how easy it is to get off, say like someone who has a corporate job, maybe in like their mid-20s, gets off work, they're like, I'm just gonna sit down and relax for a little bit, starts scrolling on their phone or starts playing a video game, and then before they know it, it's nighttime. You know what I mean?
8 o'clock.
I just think you can space out so easily with this stuff. It just sucks you in, and then and especially if that becomes a habit, then it's like you're just not going out and doing stuff. You're not interacting.
Dating apps too, I feel like every swipe right is like a little hit of endorphins.
Oh,
or
like
every match you get's like, which just keeps you going because you're looking for that next tiny hit of endorphins, like you are with social media. It's a catch-22. There's my thing.
Do y'all ever work out together? Sometimes, not all the
Sometimes.
time. We did legs, whatever, like 3 weeks ago
We just
together.
have different
We train
workout
different.
styles that we
Yeah.
enjoy. I don't like high intense workouts. I like to go in there. It's kind of like some extra me time.
Well, I was going to say, that's like the main thing. Because we did work out. I feel like when I was pregnant with Emmy, we worked out together pretty frequently.
We
Like,
did.
not all the time, but definitely probably the most we ever did.
Yeah.
But since having kids, that is our one time out of the house most days.
Most days, yeah.
And unplug.
Yeah.
It's just our
See,
our
and I
rest
feel
time.
like I heard someone there was this debate going around on TikTok a few weeks ago. A woman said that men don't take workout classes because they think they're better than that or they don't want to go. I don't think that's true at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think I see what you guys do. I think that's too hard. I don't want to do it. I don't want to sweat that much.
There's
I
so
wanna
many guys in the
like
Alpha
I do.
Strength
I do
class.
sweat, but I don't. I want to do my own thing.
Yeah.
Because I know that I enjoy the way that I work out.
Yeah. I do wish that he would take classes.
I know it would be good. I know I'd get a great workout. I've done them before.
Yeah.
I puked one time. Like I'm not trying to say they're not hard because I know that
There's
they
a
are.
lot of couples in the Alpha Strength class that I'll take, because I really only take one class a week now. Like if we're on a normal schedule, when I'm traveling,
Mm-hmm.
I'll tend to just like rip off the Band-Aid to get back into working out. I'll take a class, but it's either Friday or Saturday, and I always do Alpha Strength, and there's always a lot of couples because that is the strength based, obviously, and then
Yeah.
there's just a Metcon at the end. So it's like even if you don't like high intensity stuff, it's really only the last like 10 to 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Anyway, I would love that, but he's not interested. Maybe one day.
She's welcome to work out with me whenever she wants.
Well, you kind
It
of
actually gets me a better workout because I can't cheat myself.
I was gonna say you sounded disappointed when I wanted to join you for legs.
I know it wasn't. It was being sarcastic.
Oh, this is a good question. What is something you can do that the other can't?
I was trying to think of something. Like like legitimately can't.
I think this is more of like how we balance each other out kind of question. That's how I'm taking it. I will say something. This has been from the very start of our relationship. You are such a positive person in your outlook on everything, which I am too, but you're, I think, to a different extent. Like whenever we've had like bumps in the road or I get stressed out about something, I feel like I guess you stay more like cool, calm, collected through it than I do. It is easier for me to make it in my head. I build it up to be like, it feels like a bigger problem to me. And you are like problem solver.
Yeah.
And you just take, and you're like, I have never once questioned that you have thought we could work through something.
Yeah,
like
well,
always in your head, that is just.
That's also the way that I try to, de-stress myself.
Yeah.
Like, I just stress myself out further if I just think about the problem. The only way I can get over something or get through something is to find a solution to the problem. And I know I've heard this piece of advice from places before.
That it can be a bad thing if you like only ever think that everything can be fixed, whatever. But it is a definitely, and this has been a trend in our relationship. I've always acknowledged that you have always just had such a positive outlook on everything, and like that we can conquer whatever comes at us. Whereas like I know that in the back of my head, but there are also times where I'm like, ugh, like this is.
Yeah.
I get more stressed
I get what you're
about
saying
stuff.
there. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say something way less deep than that.
Well, that was just what came to my mind because that is something I've said that from the beginning of our relationship. What is yours? It doesn't have to be deep. Oh. That was just what.
Something I just can't do or don't do.
Don't do is probably more of it.
Clean the floors.
I clean the floors.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying you do that more than, like
Oh, I see.
But no, that's not what I'm saying, because that's something I should be doing more, which I've been doing better with vacuuming.
You've been doing great with vacuuming.
But oh gosh, this is a good question.
I know. I'm like, I don't think we've ever.
I mean,
I'm listening.
Like, my mind just went to like waking up early.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, I'm not gonna say I can't, but I can't. It's really tough unless, like, I get up when I have to be up. Because I stay up late. But if I need to be up by 7:30, I'll be up by 7:30.
No earlier.
No earlier. Kelly will be up at 5 o'clock, whether she needs to or not, doing stuff.
Yeah, I've always been a morning person, but I also, and this is, once again, I've always been a morning person, so it didn't like change anything. But even on because there's obviously times where I don't want to be up that early. But
Yeah,
I
but
also
you
recognize how much it helps me mentally throughout the day to just have like my workout done early or knock out stuff early. And I saw a video that just said, it was like someone trying to get people who are more of like night owls and who are like, oh, they'd rather have their me time at night, trying to convince them to just try getting up earlier a couple times, because it's like, I promise, no matter how much you want to scroll or whatever you do at night to unwind, watch a show, just stay up late. You're still starting every day. Like if you get up right when the kids get up, you're starting your day serving someone else. You're not doing anything for yourself beforehand, which just essentially you're starting like off on kind of a bad start for yourself and your mental capacity for the day. And it was saying that just even getting up 20 minutes, like being able to wash your face, brush your teeth, do something for yourself before you have to start caring for others, just the impact that it has on your like attitude throughout the day. And that is something I know. The days where I don't, like where the very first thing I have to do is get Avery up and then she's whining and I don't, you know, like even if you just get up and make your cup of coffee and can sit for a little bit,
Sure.
Just that can have an effect. But yeah. I know you're a night person.
Yeah. And to me,
and you've also just made it work. So I think you've adjusted very well.
Yeah, we've made it work, and it's been fine. I would like to start going to bed closer together, so we can spend our quality time.
A thing for intimacy.
Yeah.
If you're not going, and I think that I've talked with some of my friends about this, and they're like, oh my gosh, like because you try to have that solo time at night, but then you, like it's so obvious when you think about it, like duh, that's going to affect my intimacy. But yeah, we are never going to bed at the same time. And I was like, if we want this to be more frequent, I need you to be up here more often.
Yeah, no, and that's totally acknowledged.
Yeah.
It's just, and this goes back to quality time, because quality time is super important to have with your significant other, but also you need to squeeze in some you time as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where the time management really comes in big, because
especially with kids.
That's what I mean, with kids and with how we're doing kids. It's like one of us is always with the kids.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's both of us.
Yeah.
So it's like figuring out when you're going to get your you time, when you're going to spend time together, and then when you're going to work.
Yeah.
So it's tough. All right, go ahead.
How did Chris handle postpartum rage? God bless my husband. If you know, you know. I feel like we touched on this in a recent video.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Kelly had any postpartum or meant much postpartum rage. I can remember a couple times when I got screamed at that I, chalked up to we're both sleepless.
Yeah.
It's been a long day filled with, Emmy being, colicky.
Yeah.
And
that was definitely the worst that it was.
It doesn't. I'm pretty good at compartmentalizing, and you know, you know, that stuff doesn't linger with me. Like if and again, I wouldn't call it rage. It just happened a couple times maybe. I can remember one time up here. I can remember exactly what happened. We couldn't get Avery down, or we couldn't get Emmy down, and then she started screaming, crying. And we had talked about, or one of the pieces of advice we got from the sleep consultant, or from, you know, maybe just randomly. I know it must have been before we had the sleep consultant, that, you know, we'd heard about sleep was you don't say their name because they, you know, will wake up, or that it will cause them to, you know, kind of come out of the potential sleep that they're in. You know what I'm talking about? That was a big thing for you. You talked about that a few times. And
talking to them in the middle of the night. Like if you have to go up and help them to stay silent.
Or just soothing sounds.
Yes.
It's not, you're not saying their name.
I know what you're talking about.
However, one night, Emmy was screaming at the top of her lungs like murder. Like she was screaming like she had broken her leg.
Someone chopped her legs off, yeah.
So I thought, I'm going to say her name. I'm going to try to wake her out of this because it's not going to work because she can't even hear it because she's screaming so loud. And I think I just kept saying her name, and then you just flipped. Do you remember this?
Vaguely, yeah.
You flipped. Stop saying her name. Like, it was really loud. I was like, oh, okay. Well, we're in this spot right now. And then I just, I left the situation.
Yeah.
Because at that point, being together is not going to help anything.
Nope.
So.
Yeah.
But no, I wouldn't say you had, you had your.
I had 3. I might be forgetting one if you said there's another one with you. I have 3 and I'm honestly giving myself a pat on the back that you felt like mine was not rage, because I tried so hard to not let it show because it's embarrassing. Like, you don't recognize yourself, the thoughts I'm having, the amount of times I wanted to flip out, and I knew it was over nothing, but it was like, it rises in you. It's very weird. Going back to just...
I get it.
Anyway, so I'm glad you didn't feel it as much, but yeah, I can remember 3 times in particular where I just like snapped and screamed, and yeah, they were not fun. And then you immediately feel terrible after. And once again, it's temporary. And then if it lingers, I would talk to your doctor about it. But yeah, mine were just the week 2 to week 8 postpartum.
Yeah, I mean,
rough.
What was the question again? Like, how'd you
handle postpartum rage?
I think I did a good job, or you did a good job, and we did a good job together of kind of talking about and just knowing in general the hormonal effects of pregnancy and birth on your body, and how that can cause so many things, or it can play a part in your mood and emotions. And I think I did a good job of making sure in the back of my head I knew, like, hey, she's going, your body's still going through a lot.
Well, especially with
Avery. A lot of stuff on her plate.
I remember vividly when we were sitting downstairs early postpartum with Avery. Em was just having a rough day. She was adjusting. Like, I feel like it was in the thick of her adjusting to having a sibling and sharing time. And she kept like trying to take my bowl or something. And I looked at him. I was like, I can't do this right now. And he's like, go upstairs. Like, just like remove yourself. Go take time. I got this.
I guess, that's like the first and probably the best thing you can do is just
recognize it.
Try to, take everything out of their, I don't know what the right term, but I tried my best to get the girls out of the house in the afternoons for an hour, so you could be alone to work or to relax, but without, just this pure stimulation. And I think that was good. I think I really tried my best to get the girls out of the house almost every day for just a little bit, whether we just went to go get a car wash, went to the grocery store, went somewhere. Yeah.
No, you did a great job both times, but I think especially because you kind of knew what to expect this time, and we were definitely on the same page with it.
Also, Emmy hated the car. when she was a baby.
Yeah.
So like we dreaded taking her anywhere. And Avery has always been really good in the car. And then we got better in the car. So like that helped things too.
Yeah.
To get out of the house.
We're getting close to the end. How many kids do you think you guys want? Also, what is the age gap that you prefer? I feel like age gap, we don't necessarily have like a set age gap. We just know, like I would prefer to have them close. One, for age purposes, so they grow up closer. My oldest brother is 10 years older than me. As you get older, age gap doesn't seem as much, obviously, but when you're little, I mean, that's a totally different life they're living. Like you can't really relate on much. But mainly, once I'm done, I want to be done.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to be like, have a 5-year-old and then have to restart. Like I think for me, yes, it's chaotic, but I think having like it's already chaotic. We already have diapers. Like it's just adding another person to the routine. And we've been on the same page with that.
It's funny how I heard we were talking to two couples like we were talking to the burgers and the places at the park one day.
Park, yeah.
And it's just funny because one of them said, like we said, you know, if we're in diaper mode now, let's just stay in diaper mode.
Exactly.
And then the other one was, we're not having another one until diaper mode's done.
Yeah, until they're out. Like, until one's
it's
out.
Hard if you're in one camp, it's hard to understand why they do the other way. So, but we've always been that way. We wanted close.
We came from bigger families.
Bigger families that were spaced out between 1 and 3 years.
Wait, you had closer age gap with yours. I was last in mine. So my brothers were closer, but Corey's 4 years older than me.
Yeah, that's a bigger gap.
But I feel like
3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Depending on how number 3 goes, how we feel during that, then, maybe another one.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
I really, at this point, I can't see, unless something crazy happens, I can't see more than 4.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see.
Well,
I right now, I'm like, I don't know about that.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, you originally were like, 4 to 5, and I was like 3 to 4.
That was always a little bit of a joke.
Oh, okay.
That's always been a little bit of a joke.
You kept that very consistent.
I did. Because it was never my choice, I'm not pushing him out.
Your marriage advice? Or did we already kind of touch on things?
What do you mean?
You said we'd circle back. Your advice for marriage. She's getting married in a year. Any advice? It's just giving you an opportunity. Or no?
Okay. Maybe I can frame it in the mind like advice for a wife to a husband.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what it is.
And I was thinking, advice for
like
both
a couple.
People. I'm
Got it.
specifically now. I'm
for a wife
like,
to a husband.
Think things you can do that your husband will like and appreciate.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Again, I think it depends on the husband, but like, there's I think. So golf has gotten super popular amongst mainly young men, women too, but young men, and I know there's been this debate of like, there's one girlfriend who say, I'm so tired, my boyfriend's always gone, always on this, always golfing, and the other side of the coin was hey, if he's always golfing, why don't you just go with him? This is like non-kids, So I would say, if he's okay with it, like if he has those hobbies, some hobbies, whatever it may be, join in. And it'd be, just something simple like that would be, if he loves to build paper airplanes.
Sharing those hobbies with him?
I do think sharing the hobbies. Sharing some hobbies together, finding some hobbies together that you both enjoy doing, that he enjoys doing.
I think that's good advice.
I didn't have any hobbies until I started reading. And I thank you for joining in with me a little bit.
You're welcome.
It took you a little while to hop on the train.
That is something that you kind of have to come to that on your own.
100%.
You have to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And if you feel, that's the same reason why we both didn't enjoy it in school, because it felt like home. It was homework.
Yeah. You don't know it's not until you find the book.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I found the sex book that Kelly liked a lot.
Oh, the sex
Fourth
book.
Wing. It was
That everybody liked. Oh my
wait,
gosh.
was that the first one?
No,
Was it
I
Fourth
read
Wing?
science and chemistry.
Oh, lessons in
lessons
chemistry.
in chemistry.
Because that was the Barnes and Noble. Like we just went
Like
to
book
Barnes
of the
and Noble.
year. Yeah, I was like, okay, you know what? I'll just pick out one of the top sellers of the year and I'll read it.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely took me a little longer to get into, but I did enjoy that book.
Mm-hmm.
And then you wanted to get me Fourth Wing, or you did get me Fourth Wing to read. Yeah, and then I read that, and then I realized how much I liked romanticy.
Insanely popular.
It's so popular. So yeah.
Still is. Mm-hmm. And then ACOTAR.
ACOTAR is great. Yeah.
And then you did the Throne of Glass and the other
Throne
one.
of Glass, yep.
Crescent City.
Crescent City.
But yeah, no, I mean, I guess. I feel like that's cheap advice.
That's fine. We can move on.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's fine.
That's a little one.
I think that's good though.
Find something to do together.
Yeah. That is going to be it.
Okay.
Thank you for asking questions on Instagram. We didn't get to all of them. We got to most of them.
Most of them. Wow.
We are going to go to, we got to do some work. And then we're going to go to my mom's after the girls wake up from their nap. My brothers are in town, 2 of the 3. Hang out there tonight, do dinner there tonight. And then we're doing Easter at our house again.
Okay. I have a question.
Yeah.
What do you think about like randomly going live to do like a little book club chat, like one random night at like 8 o'clock?
Well, you just, because we're not on a timeline, like, are you talking about at the end when everyone said they've read it?
After. Yeah, like we're talking about like a few days into whatever the next month is.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. I just like a quick one. Feel more
Test
like
it
a
out,
sense
see how
of
it goes.
community.
Yeah.
Maybe do it on your Closet by Kel account or something.
Yeah.
And just, you know.
Closet by Kel, no. I would do it on my CE-KLYNNE Yager. That's where I've talked about the book club.
You have a lot of people.
Which we can test it out. I'm hungry.
Okay.
There you go,
Anyways, thanks for watching.
Thank you, thank you.
We'll see you
Happy Easter.
next time.
Or I hope you had a great Easter. No chance this goes up tomorrow. I hope you had a great Easter weekend. Ta-ta for now.
TTFN.
TTFN.